Hello everyone. Today we are coming to the end of the week of Young Guns Series 2, where we've been focusing on, again, highlighting young talent from around the country across makeup, hair and beauty. We've had a great lineup of, again, as I mentioned, young talent who have been kind of showcasing some of their technical work, as well as also talking to us about their inspiring stories, and how they've kind of broken into the industry from a very young age, and the kind of work they've had to do to kind of develop their careers, and work really hard, really, to make a name for themselves. Even if they're young artists, under 30, 35 years of age, and really then talking about what lessons and learnings they can give to the industry as well. Today, super excited because I've got Danielle from Kolkata with us. She is, another super talent. Obviously, being part of the business because of her, her family connections over in Calcutta and the salons they're running. But she's also making, a great name for herself, as a standalone artist. Within her salons up there. So super excited to be talking to her today about her journey, and what she's been doing so far, and also the lessons, that she can give to other artists, because she's done a lot of trainings, across the world as well, and really focus on developing herself as an artist. So I'm really excited about listening to her. So we're just waiting for her to come in, and as soon as she joins, we'll be talking to her for you guys. But I hope you've been enjoying our PB digital series that we've been running for now the last 14 weeks or so. We've covered salons and artists and technicians from around the world, and as well as a lot from India. And Danielle is here, so I'm just gonna log her in. I'm just calling Danielle into the live session.
Hey Vika.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Great backdrop.
Yeah,
Oh my
we'll be
God.
having company of a lot of birds as well. I've just been trying to shoo them away before we start.
Yeah. So super. You look like you're in the Caribbean or something, like very exotic place, not Calcutta. Good. How are
How
you
have you
keeping?
been? I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have been open, what, like just
We
over
started
nearly
first
two
week of
months?
June. Yeah, no, we just started
That's
on the
okay.
first, yeah. So we took a while to start.
Yeah.
Um, and then now we're in it for about now 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah. How's it been? I know the first
Um,
week or so is probably busy, but then how's it been
Yeah,
the
there was
last
an
week or so?
influx definitely when we started, and then gradually there's an ebb and flow with the footfall at the moment.
Yeah.
So some days are all right, and some days are not that great. There's a lot of fear that I think people are still feeling. So I mean, we have to work around that. We're hoping for better months in the future, but at the moment it's a lull,
Yeah,
definitely.
and I think that really is the sentiment from around the country. So when we've spoken to salons across, whether it's Delhi, Gurgaon, Punjab, uh,
Yeah,
Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, it's the same kind of thing. The first couple of weeks are
yeah,
busy because everyone's rushing into, well, they're
that's
not even
right.
rushing now. Everyone's going in to get their haircuts, basic
That's
services.
right.
But you're right, there was a lot of fear. So I think it's going to
Yeah.
take,
Yeah.
I think July will be an interesting one. I mean, Mumbai
Yeah,
opened on Sunday and then
I
declared
know.
lockdown. They declared lockdown in a
Yeah,
few hours, so it's quite tough.
it is. It is. I mean, my heart goes out to everyone in all industries at the moment. It's such a time where we don't know what's happening really. We're hoping for so much. We've come in with so much, I mean, optimism at the same time, but then we're being shut down by so many things. And even Mumbai right now to be open just for a couple of hours and do so
Yeah,
much, prep for that, and then. But I guess it's the best for the entire, country, and just not increasing any more cases and stuff like that. So
yeah, and I think you're right. It's going to take I think this will be this in August will be an interesting phase to figure out
Yeah, I think so too.
what the bounce back will look like, because we will bounce back, but what it will look like, I think the
Yeah,
next 4 or 5 weeks will determine. So, and it is really about
that's right.
building back confidence in people to go out and go out actually. So I think there's, like you said,
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
what it
large
is. Yeah,
there is a large paranoia, fear factor
yeah,
about going out and doing anything.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. So we won't dwell too much on that because I kind of think we understand the trends. But
Yeah,
this is very much about, your journey, and also you've been part, this week we are celebrating and recognizing young talent from around the country. It's the second series we're doing. We did one last month. And it's really an opportunity
right,
that obviously a lot of the known names get featured a lot, right? So, we've
right,
done that as well, but it's also, we thought we could create a platform where those that, aren't quite on the radar yet, but will be there in a
right,
few years, because, in like
right.
5, 7 years,
Yes,
we want to give them an opportunity, and maybe people that aren't even known at the moment, just really say, look, come on and talk to us, talk about your journey, maybe do some technical work as well, and just
yeah.
really our effort to bring different parts of the community together.
Right. It's such a great initiative, and thank you so much for inviting me on this platform. I appreciate it so much.
Our pleasure. So I'm excited by, what conversation we can have today. And
Yeah.
um, so obviously, you're part of the family business, but let's go kind of back to at what point did you realize that you're gonna get into the beauty industry?
So, because I've grown up in this industry, my grandmom's an icon in the industry, followed by my mom and my aunts. But for
Yeah.
me, I had no intention of joining this business whatsoever.
Okay.
Um, I was playing tennis. I represented India. I represented West Bengal. I remember you saying to me that you play tennis too. So
Yes, I do. Yeah, I missed
yeah,
that. I completely missed that in lockdown.
I can imagine. So I did a lot of that, and fortunately for me, I had parents that were very supportive, so they didn't like strategically steer me in the direction of the business or manipulate me in any form, and so that was really good. So for me, it worked really organically. I feel like just watching my mom, and not just externally, seeing her change people's lives and change how they look, or just make them feel better, but it's how she made them feel that resonated with me the most. I feel like she went into nutrition, into the deep roots of problems that they were having to be able to achieve what they wanted. So I think that's what really, I was like, wow, I really want to be able to do that. I want to be in a position to be able to help people, not just
Yeah.
with their makeup and hair, but just on an overall, like a holistic approach to everything. And she taught me that. So that's what kind of nudged me. And I was just like, you know what? I've got to do this. I think this is something that would really bring me joy. And that's how it started.
Wow. Okay, so that's over and beyond just making someone look good from externally. You're saying your mom really
Yeah.
kind of focused on their kind
Yeah.
of holistic wellness, holistic kind of
Absolutely. Yeah.
well-being. Wow. So what age was that then?
So
Kind
I
of.
was around this in school, I was around this for a long time, but in between I worked for an international airline, Etihad, and then I studied in Australia for a bit, and then I went to Kimmage to do my hair. That's when, that was about, maybe I was 16, 17 when I realized, like, this is something that I would like to be in. And but I was on and off. I wasn't really completely focused on this career. So that only happened post a couple of trainings. Then I developed the confidence to be able to be part of this career, and that's when I was like, all right, and here I am now, full time.
Wow. And did you go straight from training straight into, the family salons?
Yeah, I did.
Is that your journey?
So yeah, so I went to Singapore for a basic hair course that I did. Came back from there, and then I went for a 2 week, really quick makeup course with Mavi and Beck in Mumbai, actually.
Yeah.
That
Another
was really
icon.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she really is. And she gave me a huge opportunity as well, because I was so new to the industry. And so I got the opportunity to actually go and work with her at the Lakme India Fashion Week.
Oh,
and
wow.
in Goa at that point, and Paris Hilton was there. I worked on Urvashi Rotela, and so it was huge. I was like, wow, this is where I want to be. This is it. I enjoy this so much.
Yeah.
Came back from there and then worked in Calcutta a bit. I worked at the Salon. And post that, my sister and me went to the London College of Makeup. So that's where we got our diploma. And that's when that confidence started to come in. It was really fine tuning the skills. And, we had a lot of confidence to build our clientele as well. Because it's tough when you're starting out.
Yeah. And how did you, like you said, your first training was more on styling and hair,
Yeah.
and then you did a
Yeah.
couple in makeup. So how did you
Yeah.
know that, which one to choose from?
I mean, I dabbled in both for a bit, and then I realized which one made me wake up in the morning, and I was like, okay, yes, this is the appointment I have for today. So when it was hair, I was like, all right, I've got to go do this. But when it was makeup, I was like, you know what, let's go. This is it. This is what I planned in advance. And it was just, so I think I fell in love with the whole process of makeup and how creative it was, and more than I did with hair.
Oh, wow. And is that because you got exposure to like fashion weeks early on, or also
So
working?
I think so. I think that's definitely what it was.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
and then what kind of work do you do now then? So obviously you must be doing consumer makeup work as well, but where are
Yeah.
you focusing at the moment in the
So at
salon?
the moment, we do a lot of bridals and stuff as well. But I'm also managing the entire team at the salon.
Yeah,
I'm part of a lot of key decisions that are going on. So I'm not just focused on one particular area. I'm, a jack of all trades at the moment, and I'm looking to still master which one I'd actually be in for the long run.
yeah. And then how many people are you kind of training or looking after as kind of director of
So
makeup?
we have a team of about 25 people at the moment. We are
In
standalone.
makeup,
Yeah.
looking at makeup.
No,
Wow.
this is the entire salon. So there are
Okay.
a couple of makeup artists as well. I've trained a couple of people with makeup, not just a team, but people that have come in and they've wanted to learn professional makeup, and so I've done
Yeah.
that as well. Yeah.
Brilliant. And then what were the kind of challenges, because it's not also easy, it's not always easy to walk into a family business, right?
Oh
Because,
no.
and work. So what are the kind of challenges you've had to deal with?
With the family business, I feel like there was definitely big shoes to fill, and I say that because you have to keep up to a certain standard, and we have different minds at the same time, and different ideas, different concepts. But I think we just it was just so fluid in the way that we all like when I joined. It was never challenging. What I did find challenging though, Vikas, was breaking into the industry, getting the opportunity to freelance with different people, to build a clientele outside of the salon. That was a little difficult because, people are very fixed, especially here in Calcutta. They have their few makeup artists that they,
Yeah.
are very comfortable with. And so it's really hard to kind of break through that. That's pretty much the only challenge I did face in the beginning. But joining the business was just, it was great from the get-go.
Okay. Okay. So it wasn't too difficult to transition to working with family at the salon.
No, fortunately not, because
You
I
weren't
mean,
you weren't you weren't getting told off at home and getting told off in the
no,
office.
so for me, I set things straight in the beginning. I was like, you know what? If there's anything you have to say to me, you're telling me at home. There's no way that you're treating me like your daughter at the salon, because it's really important. I mean, people are coming there for a good time. They're relaxing. It's an environment. There's a team around, and we do that with our team as well. There's no way that we tell people off in front of anyone. There's always a meeting. You take the person aside. So these are things that my mom, I think, just I didn't even need to tell her. I fumbled quite a few times, but the way she handled it made me more comfortable to kind of come in the next day and work on it and make things right.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah.
That's good role modeling, actually. I'm sure there would have been
Yeah.
times where you probably had heated discussions at home,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
it's good to keep the boundaries. You're right.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's really important with anything, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and an interesting point you said that getting into the salon bit was the easy bit for you, but trying to break into the industry. So, what kind of tips could you give to others? Because especially as a makeup artist, I kind of think it's more difficult because when you're a stylist, you know, you've got your kind of career mapped out. You know, you join at the bottom, you know, you go do some training, you do a year, then and there's a kind of promotion that you can see your career ladder, right? So then you get up to eventually being, eventually either you're going to be an educator or you're going to be running the salon, for example, right? But you can see your thing, and obviously opportunities flow off that because others see the kind of work you're doing and you're becoming a creative director, etc. But makeup artists are very different because you don't necessarily have that career thing to look at, and you have to work really hard to develop your own career. So what kind of tips could you give to other youngsters? Because like you said, you had the benefit of being in the salon, so that's great.
Exactly.
But if you didn't, what kind of difficulties did you face?
So, because what I would definitely recommend to people, I would advise, you know, anyone that is in my position or will be in the position that I was in earlier, starting out, you know, I would say definitely for us so well. You know, you have a chance to kind of build your portfolio, work on yourself, work on models, you know, really push your work and see how, you know, people tell you, you know, you have a lot of feedback coming in as well. The next thing I would say is to never get knocked down. So there will be people that will downright not respond to you, not get back to you at all, or just say no. And I think that that's when you have to kind of make sure that you work harder to make sure eventually that those people will be knocking on your door and saying, you know, I would love you to work with me. And to be able to do that, I think you have to practice, you know, don't give up. Knock on as many doors as you can, you know, allow any opportunity, grab opportunities while they're there, you know. I feel like even there are going to be times where you're going to have to work for free and it's not always the best. You shouldn't do it a lot, but I do feel like in the beginning to just get that exposure to allow people to actually see how they feel around you, how you work. I think that's important to be able to do and not feel bad about it at all. So these are the few things that I would definitely recommend.
Yeah, and I think what you talk about the free work, so, I mean, there is a lot of it, and a lot of the senior artists now say that actually we prefer that actually if you want to come train with us, it's not about doing free work. It's actually like in a way like more internships. So you've got to come and do your internship, serve your time because they're also dedicating time to mentor you as well.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, and then so you decided pretty quickly, you know, that okay, makeup artist is what it's going to be. So just tell us about the kind of work you're doing now. So obviously you're running the makeup side of the business.
That's right.
What else are you doing outside of the salon with regards to makeup?
So outside of the salon, I do definitely do a lot of freelancing work as well. I'm also working on franchising Bridgette Jones, so I'm working on that aspect of things as well.
Wow.
Apart from that, I train a couple of people. Like I get a lot of like these personal makeup classes for people that want to learn makeup on themselves for 1 or 2 days. So I do that as well. So these are the few things that I do. But right now with the situation that we are in, you know, makeup's kind of taken a backseat because, you know, it's different now. So I'm focusing a lot on the salon and on the team. You know, I'm making sure that everything is just up to standard, following protocol. So that's where my life is right now.
Yeah, yeah. And then have you noticed, I mean, I think we kind of know the answer, but I guess makeup is pretty dropped off the radar at the moment for most people, right? Even if it's open.
Yeah, it definitely has. I think, especially because with the bridals, what we used to do would be these pop-up salons for the guests and, you know, cater to hundreds of women at the same time. You know, so that's definitely because they have limited the amount of people that can actually attend a wedding. So this has also come in the way of the makeup, you know, our business as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And then interesting that you mentioned that you're also working on the kind of the business side, the franchise side. You know, that how do you balance that? Because being a business person and a creative person doesn't come natural, right? And normally we find that, you know, the creative people really struggle to understand how to run the business and manage people and train people.
That's right.
It kind of, you know, sometimes feels like it gets in the way of your creativity. So how have you managed to find that balance between being a business director and still being a creative artist?
So yeah, that's a good question actually. For me, I really feel like, you know, it's all your mind. It's your mindset. You know, if you feel like you can balance these two things equally, it's going to be difficult. There's going to be hard work. I mean, one point of it, you're like being this fierce boss woman, and the next side, you're trying to like be this creative, making, you know, trying to do this whole other side. So it's definitely different. But I feel like you can make that time for whatever you want to do, and I think
Yeah.
that's what I focus on. And I don't make too many excuses for myself. So I think that kind of helps me, keep powering through all of these things. And I make time for both, and I enjoy doing both things. So I think that's what's most important, because if there was either side that I didn't enjoy as much, I think that would definitely be the one that wasn't weighing too well on the scale.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
did you get any extra kind of training? Because, like you said, to do the kind of, understand hair and understand makeup, you know where to go to get your training. But to run the
Yeah.
business,
Right.
I don't think, in this industry, there's many kind of management courses or management stuff you can do. But
Yeah.
how did you figure that out? Were there training
So
courses or you're learning on the job?
no, yeah. So I'm learning a lot on the job, and I think that's one of the best ways anybody can actually learn, because you see exactly the dynamics of everything, how things are working out, how do the pros and cons and all of that. But at the same time, I self-educate myself. I read the business books, and I try to educate myself as much as possible. I get advice from people who are in the industry doing what I'm doing, and other industries as well. I
Great.
watch a lot of, be it a TED talk or like YouTube, and just, shadow a lot of people that I think are doing great at the time, and, or, anything that I want to learn in particular. So that's definitely something that I do. I don't have a specific training in this, but eventually I might, if I do need that extra. But at the moment, because if I'm honest, self-educating myself in this particular field has really helped me learn and grow so much. And
Brilliant.
it doesn't stop really.
Super. Off the kind of topic, but if you want to look at really good personal development stuff, Mind Valley does some great stuff.
I do.
Mindvalley.com.
I watch a lot
Yeah.
of that. Yeah,
Did-
Vishen Lakhani. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watch so much. I learned so much from there. And they give a lot of free courses as well. So it's great that you brought that up. I'm on that. Like every time that I'm free, it's Mind Valley. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. And then
yeah,
we're
it's
trying to get
great.
the kids onto it as well. So we're like trying to do it as a family, like a lot of Mind Valley stuff.
Wow, that's
And so
amazing. Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
That's really, it's so much informative stuff that they share, and they bring people from so many fields, different industries, different fields, and just I think it's important for everyone to get on there and kind of just get that information. It's great.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's good. Um, and then, so you said you're running the franchise bit as well. How are you trying to figure out the
Yeah.
franchise model? Because
So
that's not easy.
so
How,
basic. So that's something that's just started out. I've got somebody that's working with me. I'm with Franchise India.
yeah.
So we're on that development process where we've just finished kind of structuring everything down, and now I have to take it to the next phase. But this whole pandemic kind of slowed me down a little bit, because right now the market is in such a situation. I don't think there'd be too many investors at the moment, or I could be absolutely, people could be looking to enter this field. But right now it's just such a catch-22. I'm waiting on
Yeah.
just waiting to feel good about it before I continue.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think right now it's actually quite hard to plan anything. So it's kind
Yeah,
of
it
like
really
day
is.
by day. It's like you have no idea what. I was talking to someone last week from a technology side, and
Yeah.
they were focusing on, oh, it's end of June, we've got to hit our quarter numbers, and they were like, what's your quarter looking like? And I said, I don't look at quarters or 6 month or
Yeah,
annual anymore.
it's
It's
just
like
a day,
day by
right?
day. That's my long term planning is day by day right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's no point
that's for
even
all of us.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Um,
actually was having a conversation with a couple of people, salons in the East India as well, and we were talking about, what to do about the salary structure and stuff like that. And people were speaking of targets that people should hit. For me, I felt like that could be a little impossible at the moment. Knowing, like, you can't really set. So that was getting back to what the tech guy
yeah.
said. And it's such a day-to-day thing that setting targets just seems like a far cry from,
Especially
I
because you
don't
don't know
think,
if customers are coming in as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
I
the
think.
footfall is just so, one day it's good, it's it's just flatlining sometimes, picking up again, you know. So it's just I don't know how that's happening, but
Yeah. Are you finding like obviously you said it's ebbing and flowing, but is it like weekends are busy and weekdays are quiet? What kind of trends are you seeing?
I don't, you know, right now it is fluctuating so much. Earlier we'd know like the weekends would always be busy and the weekdays would be, you know, a little less. But right now it's all over the place, Vikas. It's, at least
Wow.
here in Calcutta, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to put some data together on that just to understand what's happening to help the
Yeah.
community figure out. But you're right, it's
Yeah,
just
I
too
know.
tricky right now. So
It's
what
so
are you,
tricky.
yeah, what are you spending most of your time on? So obviously you said you're looking after, there's 25 staff you're working with.
Yeah.
But what is your kind of role right now then?
So at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm definitely, you know, training the entire team on safety protocols pretty much every day. You know, I'm making sure
Yeah.
that there are no loopholes or there's no slacking going on, stuff like that. So I'm focused a lot on that. And also with the BWSSC giving us these guidelines, we're very fortunate
Yes. Yeah.
for, you know, in different languages and the videos and also the certification that they've had all of us do. I think it
Yeah.
gives, it gives the team that you're working with as well so much more confidence and I think a sense of responsibility as soon as they get certified. So I think that was a great step that they took to do that. So my team's been doing, keeping up with all of that right now. And I also wanted to mention a lady that I actually got the privilege to talk to, which is Dr. Rekha, who, you know, I
Yes.
feel like
Yeah.
she's such a force behind this industry right now. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable, you know, to have her come together and do what she's doing and with all these webinars. And she's involved us youth, especially in, you know, training. And it's just been great. So I think right now I've been so involved with all of this stuff, just making sure that we're on top of the ball with you
She
know.
has, you're right. She's been brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think I've been in the industry about just under 10 years, like in the
Yeah.
Indian beauty industry. And
Wow.
I've never seen a moment like this where everyone's
Come
really come
together.
together. And she's really kind
Yeah.
of been a powerhouse getting everyone
It's
to work together.
really, it's so
Um,
inspiring at the same. It's amazing to see that
yeah,
you know happen, and it's great. It's really great.
cool. We've had one question asking about the kind of the work you do with acid attack victims. So
Okay,
if you're,
so
yeah, so if you could talk a bit about what kind of
yeah,
work you're
so
doing
I
there.
had so I worked with so what happened was there's a girl called Sneh. She's a friend of mine and she's a makeup artist as well. So both got the opportunity to work with acid victims, teaching them how to do makeup so that they could actually get jobs as makeup artists and stuff like that. And so it was a great initiative. I mean I don't talk about it as much as I kind of well, this has been, I bet she's asked me this question. I'm not so sure. But
Okay.
it was so amazing, you know, working with these people because they were so happy, firstly, to be learning something. And there was a lady that was a woodpecker that just came through. So, yeah. So we worked on these with these acid victims for a while, and it was such a great experience. Right now, I think a couple of them have been sent to the US to get certain certifications and stuff like that. They're working on their skin as well. And I got two of them to actually come and work with me on the job at the Bridgette Salon, just to give them some kind of experience, working experience before they head out to do their stuff. You can't imagine how talented and how good they were. They picked up make. Literally, we were there for about 2 weeks, and it was great.
Wow. And is that stuff you're still doing regularly at the moment,
So
supporting
at the
them?
moment, no, at the moment that was what was happening. But right now, none of that. I haven't been. I think there's nothing like that happening at the moment. But if there's any, I'm always there. I love doing stuff like this, and Sneh has been a big part of involving me with stuff like this. It's amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. I guess it gives you also more groundedness, like in terms of,
It definitely
because
does.
you've got one extreme where you're working on fashion weeks,
It
models and
does.
exciting, and then,
Yeah, absolutely. It really it's very grounding, like you said.
um, and then for, the others who want to aspire to get into the industry, right? Like you said, it's not easy in that.
No.
What advice would you give to youngsters between, you know, choosing hair, makeup, and also the business side? Because you're very young, getting onto the business
Yeah.
side of it. So what kind of practical advice could you give to audience watching?
I would say definitely, try all fields because you don't really know which one you would flourish in.
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity to try nails, facials, be it haircuts, skin, whatever it is, try it all, see how you feel, see how that doing that particular job makes you feel. And whichever one you're best at, I think you should focus on that particularly and then just go forward.
Okay, super. And I'm just going to get back to a point where we met, I think last year in Calcutta. You were
Yeah.
talking about, looking at grooming services and different areas
Yeah.
of the business. So what are the kind of, I mean, COVID aside, but what are the kind of plans you're looking at within the business that, over the next year, then a year or 2 years, how you're
So
looking to
definitely,
develop the brand?
right. So at the moment, the focus, like I said, is definitely on franchising, and we also want to start academies, so where we're training a lot of people. Apart from that, when I did speak to you, we wanted to. We are in the works of trying to get our own skincare line as well. So we're
Okay.
working on that. So there's a lot that we were working on, but like I said, this has come in the way. So for me to give you any more information is really tough
Yeah.
because we're just stuck in the initial phases of so many things. And
Yeah.
also because there's, having this time of lockdown has given us so much time to introspect, and it's given us time to kind of also change things that we may want to do, may not want to do, what would suit the market now that we are entering into a completely new phase. So, hopefully the next time we catch up, I'd be able to give you so much more information on what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then how are you, so what are the kind of ways you're thinking, right, you're going to have to adapt your business here and there because of, what's happening during COVID? Like you
Right.
said, some of the trends are like, okay, makeup's dropped because people are doing more kind of basic
Yeah.
services. So what kind of
Yeah.
trends do you think are coming out that you have to adapt the business to?
What I feel right now is it's a lot. It's staying very clean. I think everything is just so basic and essential. So I think there's a lot. So when it comes to makeup as well, I think a trend that would come through would be because everyone's having to wear masks. So I think the emphasis would be a lot on eye makeup and the brows and really getting that area looking like just popping, literally. I think
Yeah,
that would
yeah,
be great. With the hair, again, I think, we'd always have the biolage tones that are coming in. I think the chocolates, the browns, a very Parisian kind of look is everyone's, looking for. But right now, trends would definitely be clean, not putting too much on your skin, on your face. I think people want to just have some areas that are breathable because we are all
yes.
just, so that's definitely.
Well, that's interesting. Do you see, are you doing skin services up in the salon as well? I
Yeah,
mean,
we
obviously in
are.
Mumbai, Maharashtra, it's not allowed yet. So
Yeah, so we are doing skin services again. It's no contact, so we are doing it with the gloves on and stuff. So it's different. It's definitely very different. There are not as many skin services as much as there are, like, hair, root touch-ups, manicure, pedicures, and just nails. That's what's happening more of.
okay. Oh, even nails have started. It's doing well
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Okay, that's
nails
good.
is doing well. Yeah.
And then how are you trying to drive? Because a lot of the focus now from salons is initially, back in April, it was like get the salon open and then get health and safety sorted, right? And
Right,
get the
right.
the staff trained up, etc.
That's right.
And then obviously it's open, and then we looked at, okay, oof, there's a lull, right? And now
Yeah,
I think the focus is shifting on building consumer confidence.
yeah.
So is there anything like, you're doing at the salon, or that you as a community in Calcutta, for example, are doing to, give confidence to customers that, look, it's
Right.
okay to come in, and any kind of,
Yeah.
what kind of stuff are you working on there?
Yeah. So, because what we did initially, and I think a lot of people that are yet to open and can follow this advice. So before we opened the salon, in the first week of June, we actually, through lockdown, of course, there was a lot of trainings going on. But all of this is so foreign, like right from the face shields, the face masks, the gloves, using all of this. So we actually got our team to come into the salon before we even started, so that we could kind of have them use this particular equipment, put the face shields on, the masks on, gloves,
Yeah.
learn how to sanitize correctly, learn how to, use the equipment correctly and work on people before, because if you want to build trust, you can't be fumbling on a client when she walks in with your safety gear. And I think that's
Yeah.
something that is so important. So if we didn't do that, I feel like, they would be trying to maneuver around the client and just have like this question mark about, because we can't take for granted how much someone would know, no matter how many times we Zoom, we do these Zoom
Yeah.
meetings. So it's so important to have trainings on the job, allow them to kind of work on each other for a bit, see how that is, see how that works, get them comfortable, and then eventually, start on a client. So that's how you can build trust, because when a client sees that you are efficiently following protocol and you're very efficient with the way that you're handling your services, you're physically distancing, which is very important. So all of these things, and like I've been thinking this a lot when clients came in earlier to the salon, they would be relaxing, they'd have their eyes closed or, their AirPods on and chilling. And now they're all just like watching to see if everyone is doing the right thing. So,
Yeah.
for me, I think it's so important to make sure that because everyone's scared. So the only way you can build trust is to be very efficient with the safety and hygiene protocol. That's all that you have.
Yeah, great point. And you're right, everyone is paranoid right now. But
Yeah.
are you starting to see any kind of like consistent repeat customers coming in, or customers referring friends and family to come into you?
Yeah, so that's a great point that you're saying, because that's what I noticed. So I had a lot of repeat customers, so that made me feel like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. That's when I thought, okay, this is because we've had very few customers that have come in and then not come in again. So we're definitely being able to build that trust. And the minute that they actually come in, they feel safe. They know we're going overboard, literally, to make sure
Yeah.
that they're, and all of us are doing that, the entire industry. I mean, from the get-go, from the beginning of even you entering the salon, everything is just your bags are being sanitized. One thing I would like to mention is that we're not fumigating the clients at all, or the
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the team, or because I think that that is so unhealthy and that is so
Yes.
hazardous to their especially with this COVID being, a lung, and it's just making things worse and weaker. So that's something we're not doing, and I'm hoping for people not to do that or stop
Yeah, and I
doing
remember,
that.
yeah, obviously there was a conversation on the group yesterday about,
Yeah,
we saw videos of that going on, which was,
that's
I think
right.
quite shocking. And, and I know from a
Yeah.
personal point of view, I would not go to a salon that would fumigate me, because that's
Fumigate. Yeah,
sounds
exactly.
crazy.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you can't do that. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, people just stop and that doesn't happen anywhere, not just in our industry, but
Yeah.
at all.
Okay, good. It's good to see. And then, I mean, so you're starting to see repeat customers, and where are you at in terms of, you know, what it was pre-lockdown? Are you kind of like at 10% of business, 20, 30, 40? Any idea like
Um,
where you're at?
yeah, yeah. So, the honest truth is the business is about 70% down for sure. Like,
Okay.
the footfall is not good at all. And,
Yeah.
the only thing we have is like hope and positivity at the moment. And I mean, I hope I'm not shattering a lot of dreams of so many people that are yet to open with this
Mm.
percentage that I've just
No.
laid out there.
No, I think, I mean, the reason I know it's not an easy question to ask or answer, but the reason is because I think offline, everyone is talking about it, right? And everyone's saying,
Right.
that salons don't have the daily
Yeah.
revenue now to
Right.
sustain. So I think it's interesting. We do need to get an open conversation about actually, it is
Yeah, yeah,
pretty bad
absolutely.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it is.
So
It's
are you still open like 7 days a week, or have you decided that, it's better to
so
be open less because then you
yeah.
can
So
drive?
what we are doing is we are open. We are closed on a Sunday, and
Yeah.
we're open the rest of the days. But we are open for shorter period of time. So we are open just from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Also, what we are following is definitely no. We're not doing the whole walk-in. We have to have appointments for you to come in. There's no waiting, so you can't bring a friend or or have someone wait for you. If we are busy and you are a walk-in, we would ask you to wait in your car and not in the salon. So these are the things that we are working with, along with shorter timings as well.
Yeah. Okay. I know when we were chatting to, obviously it's so different. Every month is different now. But when we were chatting to
Yeah.
one of the salons last month, Levo in Gurgaon, so they said one of the things they
Mm-hmm.
were doing then. I don't know what it's like now, but you know, they were doing like early morning was kids hour. They would allow kids to come in 9 to 10.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's where they've just done the, you know, they've done the whole
Right.
sanitization. It's off peak
Yeah.
anyway, and then it'll be like 10 to 11 would be like elders
Yeah.
hour, so that's where they would allow people over
Right.
65 in. So I don't, obviously that was then, they were doing well with it. I don't know what the trends are
Yeah.
now, but you know, they were just trying to
Um,
figure out how to get different communities in at different hours
that's
so they
right.
could feel more comfortable.
That's actually really good. For us, we're not catering to the kids at the moment. We're still, we wish for this to be. I mean, the minute we do, I know that we will have a lot of moms bring in their children, but we are hoping for
Yeah.
that not to happen at the moment. So what we are doing actually is, like you said, the whole sanitation process that happens in the morning. That's when we are we're taking appointments for people that are older. So they come in at that point before anyone else
Yeah.
does, and then post that, it's whichever appointments we have, and we cater to everybody at that point.
Yeah, super. Okay, I mean, back to kind of you and your career bit, right? So
Yeah.
as we kind of get to kind of wrapping up, but what do you think the kind of what's next for you? Because you know you're still really young. You've achieved quite a lot in terms of
Yeah.
makeup artist. You're helping run the business, but how do you see your career developing from here over the next few years?
So, like I said, I had a lot of time during this lockdown to make up for some time. And one of the things that I definitely am going to add to the things that I'm doing now, I definitely want to train myself with either getting, trained by an academy or certain trainers, but definitely with nutrition and just a holistic approach. Why I want to do this is so that I can have a more in-depth consultation with my clients, be it my brides or people that are coming in, because and honestly, because one of these the reasons why nutrition even came to me was because every time a client comes in, we have them sign a declaration form as well. And in this declaration form, there are certain things that they have to tick out, be it diabetes or high blood pressure, low blood pressure, all of this stuff, and thyroid, all of this. So the amount of people that have these underlying problems is just shocking. And that was something, and I've been reading so much about how you can actually, sort all of this out with food and, with exercise. All of this, I think, can be, I can bring this to the salon industry and my clients, at least, where I
Yeah,
have these in-depth, consultations with them about why their hair is falling or why they're feeling a type of way, why their skin isn't glowing, and not just like selling products or on the chair, make them look great. And then when
yeah.
they actually shampoo their hair, they can't get that same effect. So these are all things that actually from the inside that I want to work with people. So that's definitely something that is on the charts.
That's a great idea, and I think we're seeing that as a global trend anyway, in terms of
Yeah.
wellness and nutraceuticals being
Yeah,
under
absolutely.
development. But I think you're one of the first I've heard from a salon point of view, looking at
Yeah.
how do you incorporate that into the salon business. But I think it's
Yep.
one, it's important. Two, is it's quite it's very innovative from a salon point of view to look at how do we
Yeah.
create kind of holistic wellness,
Yeah.
not just looking
Yeah.
good from the outside.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if you know Armand. So Armand Beasley, who's our makeup artist in the UK, he's the one that
Okay.
curated the digital makeup show we did and the physical one we did.
Wow.
He's studying that as well. So he spent a lot of time
Oh, wow.
recently
That's amazing. Wow.
doing an actual nutrition course because
That's amazing.
we're starting to see that more from I think makeup. The conversations I've had with people is many makeup artists looking at it. So we're trying to understand wellness, even
Yeah.
facial massages to understand how to make
Yeah.
the skin look better, and how
Exactly.
to.
The lymphatic
That's interesting.
drainage and stuff like that. It's amazing. It
Yeah,
works so well. You see wonders, happen. And I think that that's definitely something that I'm going to introduce for sure. I'm going to study like crazy and make it happen.
yeah. Okay, super, great. So we look forward to that. I think that would be an interesting trend to
Yeah,
see
it
how
would.
how that works. Um, Great. Okay, cool. Any other points from you for people watching?
For me, I just think, the first thing is obviously stay safe and, just power through this time. This will pass. This has to pass, and we're definitely going to have a brighter future ahead. One thing, because I would like to mention, this is something that I wanted to, mention earlier, was how everyone was in this whole environmental change and shift, and being really conscious about the environment. I want to put this out there because I've asked a couple of people, and I'm hoping to get the answers now with the single-use kits that we are having to use all over the world, and for pretty much every industry. From going from doing, we were recycling things and doing reusable and all of that to having this single. So that's kind of very worrying. And I feel like, I hope we as an industry and maybe whoever else is listening to this, thinks of something and comes up with something that can help, reduce that or figure out what to do with that waste that's going on. So definitely that was a point that I wanted to put out there.
And I think it is a great point because it's kind of stuff we've also discussed over the last couple of months. That, I know everyone's pushing, single use, and they're not biodegradable. So
yeah,
kind of
exactly.
Is, have we learned anything during this lockdown, or we're open, but we're going to cause a bigger mess once we've opened up?
Exactly, and it's really so worrying. So I'm hoping for answers. Yeah.
And I think it's all, actually, we could put that on the Salon group as well. Like, what can we do as a community to deal with that?
That would be great.
I think in Europe, we're already hearing about brands trying to figure out biodegradable monodose systems, etc. I think it's definitely
amazing.
Worth a question putting to the brands and the suppliers, saying, look, how are you going to deal with this challenge? And the more people that ask that, the more pressure that's applied, the more they have to respond.
Absolutely.
But I think it is worth the kind of the community coming together, saying, look, we need to deal with this.
For sure,
But no, I'm really glad you raised that as a point, because that is a very interesting point to cover, actually.
Thank you, Vikas.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Danielle.
Thank you, Vikas. It was so lovely. I appreciate this so much again. Thank you for having me.
All right. Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.